Welcome back, guys, to another lesson. In this video, I want to talk about identifying and analyzing data with box plots. Now, before I get started, I just want to thank all my students who have been working and keeping up with the work, especially during this very difficult time. And also to those of you who aren't my students that are still watching these videos, hopefully you and your families and everyone are all safe and okay. All right. Now, box plots always come up on the Regents, and when they do, they are very simple, guys. You can get them right. You just got to know a couple of things about them. And one of the things we have to know about box plots is what's called 5 measures of statistical summary. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you already know what these are. And these are the min, Q1, the median, the Q3, and the max. Now, I covered this information when we did measures of central tendency, and I'll put a card up at the top for you to see that lesson if you need to. But we have already covered this, and we already know how to find them. And now we know that because these are your 5 measures, you could also find the range, because your range is your max minus min. And we could also find the interquartile range, because that's Q3 minus Q1. So that's all the information you can find with a box plot. Now, there are 2 types of data you absolutely cannot find with a box plot. And that is the mean or average of a data set, and then of course the mode, the number that appears the most in a data set. Those are 2 pieces of information you absolutely can never find with a box plot. So then the question becomes, guys, well, what does a box plot look like? Well, here it is right here. All right, this is exactly how you'll see it on the Regents if it's a part 1 question. You just have to know what each of these 5 sections are called and where they hit on the number line. So let's look at the first section. Okay, guys, your first section is right here. You always read it left to right. So this is the min or 0%, and when you follow this line down, you hit the number line at 2, okay? Then the second part is this line right here. They can call it the first quartile, they can call it Q1, or 25%. And you follow this line down to the number line, you hit it at 4. Then there's this line right here, and it could be called the median, they could call it second quartile or Q2, or it could be referred to as 50%. And you follow this line down, and it hits at 7. Now, the one thing you want to know with the median, we're always thinking the middle, and that's true, but this line, it's not visually in the middle. Sometimes it could be to the left, it could be over here, or it could be way over here to the right. As long as it's inside this rectangle box, it is always your median. Then we go to this value. The third quartile, Q3, or we call it 75%, you follow this down, hit the number line, you hit it 11. And then finally, guys, last but not least, the 5th statistical summary data is your max or 100%, and that's this right here. And we follow that down and you hit at 12. Those are your 5 measures of statistical summary. And when you know those locations and have them memorized, you can answer any question that comes up on the Regents possible. So let's look at some examples of some quick questions we would answer. Okay, so the first one says, what is the median? Well, we talked about the median, guys. The median is right here. This is your median. It hits at 7. So your median for this is 7. Then it says, what is the min value? Well, here's your min value. Follow it down, the min value hits at 2. Simple. That's all this is. Now remember the range. The range is always, guys, remember the range is always your max minus your min. Well, my max value was 12, and my min value right here is 2. 12 minus 2, guys, your range was 10, okay? Now it wants the interquartile range. Remember, the interquartile range, guys, is always Q3 minus Q1. Well, Q3 is right here at 11. Q1 is right here at 4. Whoops, I forgot the 1. So 11 minus 4, and your interquartile range, guys, was 7. What is the third quartile? Well, Q3 is third quartile. That's 11. And then finally it says, what is the max value? Well, your max value, guys, is here, and it hits at 12, so the max value is 12. Simple. That's answering quick questions based on a box plot, guys. Simple. So let's see some actual Regents questions so you could see how easy this is when it comes up on a Regents. Okay, here's the first Regents question. It's very specific, guys. It says the box plot below summarizes the data for the average monthly high temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit for Orlando, Florida. And they give you the box plot and they give you the number line of degrees Fahrenheit. It says the third quartile is, well, remember, the third quartile is right here, Q3. That's your third quartile. Go down and it hits at 90. So your answer is 90. Boom, you're done. No more work needs to be done. Nothing has to go in the calculator, and you move on to the next question on the Regents. Second question. Now, in the older Regents exams, it used to be called the box and whisker plot. Guys, it's the same thing as a box plot. So the box and whisker plot shown below represents the number of magazine subscriptions sold by members of a club. And now it says right here, which statistical measure do points B, D, and E represent respectively? So you have to find 3 different measures, but that's okay. Here's B. Well, we said this was always called, that's Q1. Then they wanted D. Well, here's D. That's at Q3. And you could write on the Regents, guys, on the diagram. You're allowed to do that. And then it says E. We know E is your max. So which choice talks about Q1, Q3, and max? Well, right here, choice 3. First quartile's Q1, third quartile's Q3, and the maximum is obviously your max. That's exactly how you're going to see it on the Regents on a part 1, guys. Simple. Let's look at one that's a little more difficult. Now notice in this third Regents question, guys, all right, it's not just one box plot. Notice now you have 4, and they're going to make you compare all 4 of them. But if you know what each part's called, you won't have a problem. It says Corrine is planning a beach vacation in July and is analyzing the daily high temperatures for her potential destination. She would like to choose a destination with a high median temperature and a small interquartile range. She constructed box plots shown in the diagram below. Okay, it says which destination has a median high temperature above 80, so we need to find the median in all of these diagrams, and the smallest interquartile range. No problem. Well, the first choice says Ocean Beach. Now, the first thing we want to figure out is the median in Ocean Beach above 80? Because if it's not, then it can't be our answer. Notice if I bring this down to the number line, and now my line's not perfectly straight, but notice, guys, it hits less than 80, so we know that's not our answer, so you get rid of it. Same thing here with Serene Shores, guys. When I draw my line down, again, it's not perfectly straight, but we do know it hits less than 80 and we want above 80. So we know Serene Shores is gone. It's always good to do process of elimination when you're doing your Regents. Now, Whispering Palms. We know this median hits above 80, well above 80. And we know Pelican Beach also, the median hits above 80. So those 2 work. So now we have to figure out which one of those has the smallest interquartile range. Remember, that's always Q3, which is here, minus Q1. Notice the distance here to that. And then here, Q3 minus Q1. Well, guys, which one has a smaller box or interquartile range? Right here, Pelican Beach, which of course is choice 4. So you didn't have to do any math for that, guys. You just had to identify the different places they wanted you to know, median and smallest interquartile range, and you could easily answer the question. Finally, guys, one more, and we talked about this, and this has come up on our Regents. The Regents does like this question. It says a box and whisker plot only shows certain things about a data set. Which of the following, and then it says, of course, cannot be found by looking only at a box and whisker plot? Well, we know the range can be found because that's your max minus min. We know the median can be found. We know quartiles can be found because you have Q1, Q2, and Q3. The only one that cannot be found, guys, is your mode or number that appears the most. And that is it. Well, guys, that is it for box plots. As you can see, this is a quick 10-minute lesson that is absolutely super easy. This does come up on the Regents, and now when it does, you will get this right. Now, the next lesson, we'll talk about drawing box plots, which is also very simple. So by the time the Regents comes around again, you will have everything you need in order to get these questions correct. Comment below on what you like, what you didn't like. Please download the worksheet and the lesson so you have them as well. And any questions, please email me at bwritingchs@yahoo.com. Please subscribe, like, and share this to anyone you think that might need to see it. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please continue to stay safe, and I will see you on the next lesson.